I'm glad that I got back into it hardcore because I was just like doing a little bit at a time and then alternating.
Yeah.
But I've just been really going at it the last couple days.
Yeah.
Like just as soon as I get home, turn it on. And I'm like blowing through it.
What
Like
boss you on?
every boss takes maybe 2 times. I'm gonna have to do a no Spectre run though because that's kind of that's cheesing it really.
No, it's not. That's there for
It's
you
not,
to do it.
but it's very OP. Like those Spectres.
There's a couple fights where you can't summon.
All right, I haven't got to those yet. The last boss I just did. Well, I can tell you that I just looped back into Krot.
Yeah.
So they just revealed that Krot's being taken over by the monsters. I just took the subway entrance back into, and then that's when you find the secret room from the place that you started in the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
Which blew my mind. That's so crazy how they did that. Like when I first walked into Krot, and I was like, wait, is this the same train station? And then you end up on the same exact train.
Yeah.
But it's just like through a different door on the train car and shit. I was like, bro, this game's fucking... you know what? I'll wait.
No, it's on.
We're
here.
recording.
We're doing
Hey,
it.
well...
This is the podcast.
What up?
Welcome to Praise the Run. I'm Ben. This is my co-host Patrick. We're here for another show. I don't remember what episode. I stopped counting episode numbers in the main thing.
Yeah, it's hard to count.
Well,
After a certain number, you're like...
it says in the description of the video now, but I stopped putting it in the title.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think YouTube's like, hey, this is episode 35 out of the series, so we're gonna demote it or whatever. So at least that's what my theory is. I've always tried testing things for a minute.
Yeah.
We had the podcast numbers in the title for a while. And I was like, yeah, these are doing okay, but since we're on a new channel and a new thing.
If anything, you could put it in the description.
Yeah, that's what I have been.
Yeah. Just put episode whatever.
I think this might be episode 40. Is what we're on now.
Yeah.
This could be 39.
I knew we were at least in the high 30s, yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty close to 40, if not at 40 now. But yeah, you've been playing Lies of P. What boss are you on now?
Man, I can't remember the last boss. I defeated that weird robot slash sewer organism thing. Whatever that's called, the green...
Oh, that one was like my biggest wall. Yeah, the swamp monster thing.
That one took me probably... It took me a couple times at first, because every time I walked in, I could usually get to phase 2 pretty quickly, but then phase 2, like, I almost didn't get a chance to move.
Yeah.
It was like just... It would charge at me basically into a wall and, like, just glitch punch me until I was dead.
Yeah.
So that one took me a minute to like really find a way to avoid that because he's so wide when he phase 2s into that thing.
Right. And then he's spitting acid everywhere.
Everywhere. There's so much acid, so I had to like switch some stuff around that.
Damn.
And my build's very tanky. I didn't mean for it to become that, but I got a weapon that's like kind of slow. I like combined the big wrench head with the handle that like shoots fire when you're like it like charges you forward.
Yeah.
It gives you like this cool. So like those two combined gives you like a super fast, strong hit when it's charged up, and you can like do it from like from me to that camera.
Really?
So like I can charge up and then
Okay.
just shoot forward and pretty much one hit almost any enemy.
Oh, yeah. All right.
There's a few bigger enemies that take a couple hits, but there's like a combo that I have now that like, it's crazy. I can blow through that.
Damn.
Stuff. I just tanked up. I don't know how I like, it was all accident. And then I kind of figured out, I like looked up what everything means, like all the other stats. And I was like, oh, I need to do this.
Yeah.
I just ran into where you can stat everything.
Oh, okay, where you can finally like
There's
start...
like that statue.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, I found that too, so I might
I forgot that was so late in the
go
game.
back. It's so late, yeah.
It's crazy. But I mean, you're about, I would say, maybe 2/3 of the way.
I was gonna
there.
say, I feel like a good 70%. I feel like it's slowly wrapping up. Like I know there's a few places I need to go back to and
Have you
beat.
left the main area yet? Like, have you left the main?
I haven't.
portion?
I haven't went to the island or anything.
No. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
They've been talking about it. We're still looking for the entrance, but I'm
Right.
still going through the new train station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
where
I
I'm at
didn't-
now.
I didn't know if that came after or beforehand, which I guess that makes sense that it came
Yeah.
beforehand.
And this part of the game too, there's a lot of like side stuff going on. Like
Yeah.
at once. Like a lot of like tiny little side stories. Everyone's kind of,
Yeah, the threads are finally like
Mm-hmm.
finishing off.
So there's a lot of like jumping. I've been doing a lot of jumping around, trying to, tie off stories and stuff.
Yeah.
Go back and get a couple records. Listen to the records completely, because you get stuff for that. And then,
Right. Yes. It's how the more human-like things you do changes the ending to the game.
yeah, I'm going to be hella human by the time I get there, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like so human. I'm petting the cat already. Like I'm
Okay.
human.
Yeah, so petting the cats, listening to all the records all the way through, because if you're a robot, why would you listen to a record?
Right.
And then lie. You have to lie on everything.
Yeah, I mean, I know there was one time where I told the truth, I think. Because there's like a mission where you have to, like your weapon girl is likes the dog guy, but it's not the real dog guy, but she doesn't know that. And so like,
Oh, right.
which technically I don't know that yet, but I know that as a person,
Yeah.
but my character doesn't know
Your
that.
character.
For some reason, I can't just be like, hey, he obviously isn't the same.
Right.
But,
You got to show proof.
yeah, I have to figure that out. I
Yeah.
haven't gotten to that part yet. But I forgot what I was saying.
The dog guy, you lied. You
Oh,
didn't
that was the
lie,
only
you
time I
the
told.
truth.
Yeah, I told her the truth about it not really being about him not liking the gloves or whatever
Oh,
her
yeah,
mission
yeah.
was. Because he was so rude, and I wish this is like the one game. This is the one part that I don't like about lesbians is that I can't kill everyone. Like
Yeah,
in
you
Bloodborne or
can't.
in Souls-like games, you can kill whoever you want to, and you just got to suffer the consequences.
Right.
But there's so many people in this game that like fuck with you that you can't do anything about. All these stalker people that are
Yeah.
like your friends and stuff, and like just
Yeah.
that dog. Like there's so many things. Like man, there's so many times I tried swinging at that dog.
Elden Ring as well has been like that. Elden Ring, there's select NPCs you can't kill. No matter what.
But there's enough at least
Yeah.
that you can that I'm like that's fine. But like you can't do it. You can't do it to any of them unless they threaten you first.
Right.
And that's crazy because I would have killed that dog so early.
Yeah.
Because I don't even need. I don't think I've taken. I think I've only taken one amulet from him. Everything else, I've gotten so late in the game now, and I've dedicated to
Yeah.
this one weapon set that I have that like I'll have to wait till I go back through to
I mean,
try other stuff.
I don't remember if I killed him or not, but like once I finished his quest line, things were definitely different.
Yeah.
I don't remember how that went down, but he was gone after his quest line. But there's a couple. I hate it, but they also like. There's so few NPCs in that game,
Yeah.
and so few quests that they really want you to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they do enough of a job to like keep you going through to like they throw the emblems on the map and stuff like that
Yeah.
to like keep you going back to doing those quests. I don't think any of them are crazy obtuse or anything like that, like the Souls games either.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. There's not enough there's only the one NPC where I was like, yeah, it was him. Where I was like, yeah, this dude I don't like.
Yeah.
But he's the boss weapon, dude.
Yeah.
So in order to get that trophy, you have to get all the boss weapons, and then you have to.
Which I'm gonna have to go back and do.
Yeah, and then you have to lie to him a few times.
Right.
To get his lies and turn human. I don't remember if there was anything else with him. There must be something else with him.
Yeah, there's like another character. There's like two other characters that like, cause the person that he's like mimicking is like a hero or whatever.
Right.
But there's like a couple different people that you run into that are like, this guy's awesome.
Right. Right, because he took the mask of like some other hunter or whatever.
Yeah. Right. Like a renowned. He took his personality, but not who he actually is.
Right. He's like some.
Or his identity, not his personality. Yeah.
He's like some thief or something like that.
Right.
He does like a huge lore dump at the end of his quest. And I think you might have the choice to kill him.
I'm pretty. Point. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty close because I just got the last boss weapon, as you said.
Yeah.
So.
Which is crazy because there's like 6 or 7 more big bosses.
Really? And none of those have weapons?
I guess not. Not that I remember of.
I wonder what that lore is for that.
Right. I never beat the last boss because at the last boss it gives you the soul's choice, and I obviously didn't take the right choice because it locked me out of the fight.
Yeah. Well, you did, because you didn't have to fight. I mean, I guess it's a different interpretation, but I haven't got there yet, so I don't know.
Right. I didn't become a real boy at the end of my thing. I thought I did, but I guess not. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm really excited to just play it again now that I know so much, and to see like what I start with and stuff.
Yeah.
And like how that's gonna go.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Game Plus eventually, but that last boss is gonna be such a huge pain on New Game Plus because if it does the Souls thing, every time you New Game Plus, I believe it doubles the health of everything and doubles the damage. Yeah.
So you're not even gonna know.
That's always the rough thing with like Elden Ring coming out and DLC coming out. Like the DLC is gonna be the midway point through the game, so everybody going into New Game Plus is gonna be playing that DLC on New Game Plus. That's not fun, and not on your first time. I mean, it could be. You could be the Souls player that loves that, but like my first playthrough of all of them, I don't want to be on New Game Plus.
Well, yeah, you don't have to.
I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring though.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have to kind of get back to where you were.
I am like 2 hours away from where I was.
Nice.
The last week I have plowed through that game. I mean, like, I know I have all of those patterns locked in my head. I have builds locked in my head and stuff like that. And I know where everything is. Like, I know that game like it's the back of my hand. So I've just been plowing through it. I would say, I probably have 2 or 3 hours to where I was. I have beaten I have gotten all the way up to burning the Urge Tree, and the Ashen Capital has just unlocked.
Wow.
I just got to Azula, because you burn the Urge Tree and it sends you to Azula.
Yeah.
So I've just started getting through Azula. I am right at the Godskin duo at Azula. Or I can leave and then go fight Gale, which would unlock the second part of the mountain where the blood church is, or the blood well is, where Moog and the Blood Prince and the Mikella DLC will actually be. The egg with the hand.
Right.
Or I can go fight Millennia. Millennia is the next big thing, and that's where I'm at in my episode. So once I beat Moog and Gale, Gale's a big one. Gale was a big wall for me in the episodes, so we'll see how long that takes. I am a monster though with this new build.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did all of the broken builds from like the beginning of the game, like that everybody did. The Hoarfrost Stomp with like a super dumb bleed weapon.
Yeah.
And it's still broken.
Nice.
It's just a menace. And then I'm like, there's that dragon in Caelid that's like basically half dead anyways,
right.
And it's if you go kill him, he's like 99,000 souls or whatever. So that was the first thing I did in the game.
Oh yeah.
I just ran to Caelid and go kill this giant dragon.
4 hours to kill that thing.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. I had a podcast going. It might have been 10 minutes of hitting him straight.
Oh wow! I really thought it was gonna be at least an hour.
It was a long time, but because the bleed stacks and everything like that.
That's right. Yeah. So you did the build.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah.
Bounced over to okay.
Yeah, because you get ice power really fast. So like.
Yeah.
Even before I had Hoarfrost Stomp, I threw an ice power on and then had a cold bleed weapon as soon as possible. And if you frostbite someone, everything does 20% extra damage, and then bleed stacks on top of that. So when the bleed stacks, it does 20% more. Plus whatever kind of extra boosts you have and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, I don't remember if I took anything. I wasn't really paying attention because I'm not recording it.
Right.
But I was just fucking smacking them until then, and then that got me to like level. I want to say 36 or something like that.
From what? From what level were you? Do you remember?
Like 12 or 14.
Oh, okay. Still, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's, 20-something levels.
Yeah, I took the samurai build again. I did the exact same character build, the same armor, same weapon, just spec'd it a little differently. Basically it's all the same character, but yeah, I have 2 katanas now. And one of them is that cold bleed weapon, and the other one is just a normal katana that I can throw grease on of whatever.
Right.
Because once you do like a cold weapon or a fire weapon or stuff, it negates grease. You can't throw any grease on it at that point. But if it's a regular bleed weapon, that doesn't matter because that just means it's sharp or whatever. So I have that, and then I have my Morning Star. Because I love just a basic mace.
Yeah.
And that's leveled up pretty high, so whenever I go to a mine, I can smash on rock enemies, because katanas just bounce off them.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It feels so gnarly every time you hit a rock dude with a blade.
Yeah.
It's so...
Just ting.
Yeah, and it staggers you, and you have to, like, break the animation. God. Yeah, that's really the only thing I've been playing. I mean, I played a little bit of Skate. I got back to where I was in the Skate episodes, and I played a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I mean, that's just more nostalgic than anything. It's like the Tony Hawk things.
Right.
I'm ready to get through Skate 1 so I can get to Skate 2 and Skate 3 and have something really to talk about. Because those games are so different. Skate was definitely fundamental in like the skating scene back in 2007 or something like that, but like Skate 2 was revolutionary in that whole genre, almost so that it's kind of the pinnacle of skate games in my at least I think. I haven't played Session or Skater XL, and I know there's a die-hard community for those, and those are like super simulation heavy. But Skate 3, in my opinion, it is not as well tightened up as 2.
Yeah.
Like Skate 3, there's a lot more going on. It's a lot more bombastic. There's a lot more like crazy shit. They put the X Games in Skate 3 and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, there's like Nitro Circus shit. I'm pretty sure. Like there's some out of left field, larger than life stuff in
Just
Skate
like all the
3.
every skater's dream type stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Skate 2 is so much of like you're just a dude in the city skating.
Right.
And it's just another day in sunny California skating. And it's such a vibe. And there's really been nothing like that since then. But like I said, I haven't played Session or Skater XL. It's not like I don't have a desire to. I just have the nostalgia for these old ones.
Right.
So I wanted to go back to them.
Yeah. And if they feel good, I mean, you don't really. Why not?
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like I love the idea of Session Skater XL, but knowing that they're so simulation heavy, if I don't love the feel of them, I'm going to hate it and I'm going to resent it. And I don't want to.
Right, yeah.
So I've been putting it off. But I really want to get in those games. Skater XL hops on Game Pass all the time. I'm sure it'll come back eventually. They keep dropping DLC and like homages to old Tony Hawk levels and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
They did like a mall level recently, like an abandoned mall level.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played any of the skates.
No?
To be honest, yeah.
Those are good, man. Skate 1 and 3 are on Game Pass right now. Skate 2 is backwards compatible on your Xbox if you have the disc. But only disc.
Yeah, I might have to download 3 then.
Yeah, it's worth it, man. I mean, I like 1 a lot. It's just the ability... Not getting on your board, not being able to get on and off your board is such a huge thing because it's such a pain in the ass to try to set up tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just turning or slowing down or stopping completely is, yeah.
Trying to, like, do a complete stop and instead you're doing a fucking power slide 15 feet.
Or just exploring in general, just trying to, like, look around.
Yeah.
And you're, like, constantly rolling and...
Yeah, I haven't been really doing any exploring because of it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I've just been... If you're just... go to the map, you can fast travel to any of the missions that are on the map, and it's super easy. So I've just been doing it that way, just because it's. And Skate 1 is set where it's like all downhill for, like, the city is just like a weird hill.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Like San Francisco or something?
yeah, so like it's very easy to start from the top and go all the way down the bottom, but working your way down from the bottom back up is not as much fun.
Oh, right, because you're just, like, power pedaling.
Yeah,
like,
back
pushing
up the
yourself
hill,
back up,
and
yeah.
then like if you try to do a trick on something, then you start rolling back down. And you're like, no, I don't want to do that.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Huh.
So I've just been fast traveling everywhere, which I don't hate. And I know it's not the point of those games, but
Right.
yeah, once they get to Skate 2 or whatever, I'll probably be doing a little bit more. But also because it's a show, I don't want to be just doing nothing but skating.
Yeah, you gotta keep them. Gotta be filling it in.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Yeah. Which I do love, like, how Tony Hawk, where it has the Tony Hawk style goals where you go find a character and it's either like, you know, like a contest or like a game of skate or whatever. There's also in these games where, like, if you're skating around, you can do what's called a film challenge or a photo challenge, and then just gives you a random goal for the world. And then depending on where you're at, depends on you can do these goals anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So depending on where you're at, you can go through your Rolodex of, like, I think now I have like 17 or 18 things that I can do at any point.
Oh, nice.
And then you build up the meter that way. The whole point of Skate 1 is that you're building up coverage and the different magazines to become more famous or more pro. But you get a pro board sponsor really fast in the game. That's like your first sponsor, which is not how that would go in real life.
That's crazy.
You might get like a skate shop sponsor and then some wheels.
Yeah.
And then a board sponsors, like you start writing flow for a board pretty late into it. I mean, it changes for everyone, but usually people get like a wheel sponsor or a shoe sponsor first.
Right. Yeah.
Not
get
a
some
board.
Trucks. A truck sponsor.
Yeah, their board sponsors usually like their local skate shop, and they're riding blanks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely not a game based off reality.
Right.
There's these stupid challenges where, like, instead of doing these one-off games to skate, there's like skate areas, and like it's like this 20 stair out in the middle, and then every single pro in the game you can play a game of skate at down that stair set, and there's a couple of those, I guess, in the world. But I started just doing that, and it's like it's all RNG. Like, everything that they always get first trick.
Yeah.
So it's RNG if they're going to land their trick or not.
Right.
So ideally they don't land their trick, and then you can finally go. And then it's RNG if they're gonna land your trick the whole time. So it's
right.
So it's completely random. Where it was like, oh yeah, this game against P-Rod was like 3 minutes, but this game against like Jason Dill was like 15 minutes because the dude just kept landing every single trick for some reason.
Right.
It's like the robot could tell, oh, this is level 2 game of skate, so he's gonna land everything. It's like, this doesn't change the difficulty of the game. This is just making this game longer. So it was that was strange, but
right, they should just make the tricks harder or something.
Right, but you can't do that because you have access to all your tricks from the get-go. I mean, you could do the more complicated stuff, I guess, but I'm doing first trick, so it's all up to me at that point.
Yeah.
And then now the RNG is just, can I do like 10 tricks in a row without repeating one for the game?
Yeah.
You know, that's what becomes the real struggle of like, oh, I meant to do a tray flip and I did a 360 shove for the second time because I didn't flick it properly.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
That sucks.
Yeah. But it's been fun playing. I like that game a lot.
Yeah.
Elden Ring I love, I adore. I will be recording that soon. Ideally I'll get through Skate this week.
Yeah.
It's not a long game. I think I was saying like 7 or 8 hours on how long to beat, and I'm like 3 or 4, so
nice.
We'll see. The back half of those games do get pretty hard with the complexity of tricks, but because it being Skate 1, not everything's unlocked. Like hippie jumps aren't in this game or anything like that. I know Skate 2 you could start unlocking like hippie jumps and hippie flips and trying to snake a board under the chain and then have your character jump over the chain. It's such a pain.
Yeah.
I remember doing that, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there.
That's cool.
I don't have a lot of news for this week.
Yeah.
The one news is that Embracer Group is trying to make as much money as they can. So what they're doing now is selling off what they can, and Saber Interactive, they own a lot of stuff, is buying their independence back for like $207 million or something like that, and then they're buying a few other things. In total, it's going to be like okay. The deal is initially valued at $247 million. And then there's like, they're also going to be buying the Metro developer 4A Games, but they're not going to be bringing the Metro franchise with them. And then the pinball developer Zen Studios that does all those Zen pinball games. I think it's going to be $500 million is what the deal is going to end up being.
Wow.
to buy back their independence. This is the first example of this thing. Here's all the studios that they own. The studios and their own licensed IP are now a part of Beacon Interactive. All Saber Interactive branded studios. And then Nimble Giant, Digic, Saber Interactive Inc., which is the Warhammer and Knights of the Old Republic people, I guess. They're doing the KOTOR remake. Fractured Byte, Sandbox Strategies, I've never heard of, Madhead Games, Slipgate, New World Interactive, 3D Realms, and then Embracer Group is keeping all of these others. They will retain the following studios: 34 Big Things, 4A Games, Snapshot, Aspire, Tripwire, Beamdog, Tuxedo Labs, Demiurge, and Zen Studios. But it sounds like 4A Games and Zen Studios are getting bought, are continuing over. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we talked a lot about like Embracer Group buying everything not so long ago on this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about like everything's finally like condensing?
Yeah.
And then now it's gonna start exploding back outwards. So are you excited for anything? Are you looking forward to? Because like the next big thing that Embracer owns, they still own Gearbox.
Oh yeah.
They still own. They don't own Borderlands. 2K owns Borderlands, but they still technically own Gearbox. So I don't know. Like, is Gearbox's independence important to you or anything?
That would be nice. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like them to be able to do their own thing and make more stuff despite the movie and
right. Yeah, that movie, dude. That movie's still coming soon.
Yeah, there's still that movie.
I completely blocked it out of my head.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was so there's the movie's not out yet, but the trailer doesn't give it any justice. But there was a trailer I watched for another Netflix show that looked awesome. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but very like into the world Borderlands kind of vibes, just not like the silly part of it, just like serious. Okay. And I was like, why couldn't Borderlands look like this? Like,
wasn't that Zack Snyder
this
film?
looks crazy. I'm not sure, to be honest.
There was that really bad Zack Snyder film that was shown off at the Game Awards or whatever, that Rebel Moon movie or whatever they showed off. They're like, we're making this movie in like 3 parts and we're doing 2 video games.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I thought that was a Star Wars movie, Rebel Moon.
No. No, it's because Zack Snyder got taken off Star Wars or whatever, so he's like, I'm gonna make my own Star Wars. He makes his
own Star Wars? No way.
And Rebel Moon, the first one, is apparently like really bad. Like, yeah, I think it was like getting like 3 out of 10.
I thought that was just a Star Wars movie, like just a side thing.
No, that's his own
way.
Star Wars, his own universe.
I gotta look into that. That's funny.
It's weird, man.
I don't know what this trailer was.
They just showed off the second one. That's what I thought. Yeah.
No, I might have missed that. That's if it's Star Wars related. Usually, I'm like, it just flies over my head because I'm just so like out of the loop with that already.
Yeah, I don't think Rebel Moon, the first one, is Star Wars-y, but it's like. There's a lot more apocalypse kind of feel to it. There's a lot more desert planet and stuff like that. Yeah. Versus like Star Wars with like Tatooine and stuff like that.
Right, there's different.
And Hoth and all of those. This was like very much red desert planet. Like Dune almost.
Right, I was going to say, and then Dune shows up too. There's Dune.
But people are hyped on that Dune movie. I don't know. I haven't seen Dune 1. I read the book.
I didn't even know there was an original Dune. Did you know that they already filmed Dune?
Oh yeah,
20-something years ago or whatever.
Fuck, what's
the guy
dude's
from
name?
Twin Peaks?
Yeah, the Twin Peaks dude.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know
with
from
all
off the top of my
they're all
head.
gingers. They're all redheads. That's
And they got the nose thing.
yeah.
There's like a lot of I had no idea that they already filmed it and that they're pretty much they're doing so many of the same scenes.
Yeah.
It's almost like a
Right, because it's a book.
Oh, that's right. It's a book. Yeah.
It's a book.
That's true. Yeah. So you really are limited, I guess, to what's already been written. But yeah,
Dune
that's so crazy.
The way this is broken up, it's even weirder because like Dune, the book of Dune is these two movies, and then Dune Messiah, the second book, is gonna be the third movie, and they're just doing the whole book, which is like much longer than the first Dune. It's very strange. It's a weird choice, and then they're ending it with Messiah, and there's like, I want to say 8 Dune books at least. There's a lot of them.
No,
it's a big series.
I really only knew of the one.
Yeah.
The one big Dune book that I've seen. Like you got.
It's the one that matters. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's Lord of the Rings. It's the Fellowship versus like. I mean, I guess all of those are equal in most people's eyes. The Return of the King, but it's the Hobbit. you know. Yeah. Versus like Return of the King. Yeah. Strange. So strange. Everything's strange about media right now. I feel so numb to it. Like, I don't know why. Like, anything new just doesn't interest me.
I don't even watch a lot of movie. I've been watching a lot of movie recaps on YouTube. Just some guy explaining the movie in like 20 minutes or whatever, and I'm like, I've seen it now.
Yeah, I do that with horror movies now. Where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go through all the scary bits, and then I'm gonna look at all the deaths, and then I'm good.
Oh no, I do it for like anything but horror. I think like horror's the only movie or the only genre where I actually like want to see it, unless it's like lore based and I need like a lore dump or something.
Yeah.
But other than like most of the movies, like action and stuff or surreal movies, I'll just put on a recap and it can explain everything, and I don't even have to think while I'm watching a movie.
Yeah. I need to start like, I don't know, taking more appreciation for the things around me, I guess. It's like, I've been thinking about that heavily of like, I don't know, this shit bores me. Why does it bore me? I don't have a reason.
Yeah.
And why do I feel this way? I don't know. There's a lot of inner searching I've been doing about like what makes me happy, and why would it make me happy, or why doesn't things make me happy? That especially the things that should, like movies and video games and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember the last time I've been. I guess Elden Ring. Elden Ring sucked all the excitement out of me. The last time I was hyped on a game, it might be, or Armored Core, I guess. Armored Core. FromSoft games are like the one big monumental thing. I have that feeling for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, but like not as much because it's more Elden Ring.
Right.
I want more Elden Ring for sure, but it's not Elden Ring 2. It doesn't feel like it as much as it should.
Maybe once you start playing it, you'll feel it more.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, it's gonna be shorter. But
comparatively, it's a $40 DLC.
Yeah.
Which is usually they charge that much for 2 DLCs. And not every game gets 2 DLCs from them, but the majority of them do.
Yeah.
We've gotten no Sekiro DLC. We got like a boss rush mode and like a game of the year like co-op message thing, but that was it.
You think they'd still put something like that for this
No.
so far now. I mean, it's been a while now. I don't think they.
Yeah, not for Sekiro. No, that team is the Armored Core team, from what I understand.
So they'll probably just do. It's more likely that you'll get a Sekiro 2 now at this point. Yeah.
Right. If that's what they're working on. Because that team went over to do Armored Core, and then we're not getting any Armored Core DLC either. So presumably they're working on the next game in their series of whatever they're doing. I would like them to do a Sekiro 2, or just straight up go back to Tenchu, or something like that.
Yeah.
But I would be fine with whatever, you know. Like I trust them enough to do whatever good, and if that's exciting, that will be great. Also, if Neo is, I'm on the lookout for them now with Liza P. Like, that sequel is going to be coming pretty hot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping that I can beat that within the next couple of days, just so I can, like. I'm gonna take, a break from it, so I can, like, reset my, my muscle memory on how I play it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to beat it so I can finally watch videos on all the shit that people have found and stuff that I haven't done, because I've been putting that off for so long. Like,
yeah, there's so much extra lore that I haven't even looked into.
Yeah,
especially with like Pinocchio stuff.
Yeah,
because I don't know Pinocchio. Another lore note specifically is that your character's not named Pinocchio.
Yeah.
And they never call him Pinocchio.
Right.
They only call him P. Who is P?
Mm-hmm.
There's there will be a lot to talk about when you finally beat that game. We'll have to do like a full spoiler episode on Liza P.
I'll probably beat it within the next couple of days. It's a pretty light comedy week, so
yeah.
I'll probably
call it like Liza Patrick or something.
Yeah. But I'm excited for that. But other than that game, was there more news? I did have a couple more games today.
That was just Saber. The Saber news was the big thing.
Oh wow!
They're
it really was a short week, huh?
Yeah. Other thing is that we got some leaks on maybe a PS5 Pro.
Oh, okay.
But
it's just
leaks.
A leak,
so
yeah.
It's really nothing to go off of.
Nothing confirmed.
We don't do the leaks unless they're big stuff. Or
right.
It wasn't like the Xbox leak where they just leaked real shit. This is like somebody on Twitter is like, oh, PS5 Pro maybe in the next year. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, it's slow. We got nothing to talk about, so we're gonna start pushing that. And that happens every once in a while. It's not the Switch Pro anymore, so now it's gonna be the PS5 Pro until we start getting to the end of that console. Xbox had already confirmed that they aren't doing a mid-cycle generation thing. So really all eyes are on PlayStation for that, and I don't think they're going to.
Yeah.
With how much hardware costs, they probably just hit 60 million units. I doubt they want to shrink that market anymore. They just put out the slim model. I doubt they want to make production costs even more when they just brought it down.
Yeah, right.
There has been like some weird things about the new PS5 Slim, about like just heat sinking issues and stuff like that, just because it is different. It's like a different heating sink on the thing.
Yeah.
And that is like, it saved them like nanograms of weight or whatever in production. But yeah, there's some different material thing. I'm not techie enough to understand what's going on there in the different compounds of heat sink. But yeah, maybe a PS5 Pro is the big thing, but I doubt it. I will get a Switch too before we get a PS5 Pro, and in my eyes, the way I would think about the future of this industry. PlayStation did cancel a bunch of games, and they shut down London studios, but I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago. I don't remember. They shut down London studios.
Yeah.
Like 2 days after they threw Jim Ryan's retirement party.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Ryan was at London studios for a party. And then they shut down that studio a few days later. They canceled Twisted Metal. They canceled something else that they were working on as well.
The game?
Twisted Metal is the big one, yeah.
Oh, man.
The game.
Even after they've been putting out this show?
Right, so, like, that was the whole idea, was that Twisted Metal was going to be made by the team that did that Destruction All-Stars game that came out with the launch of the PS5. And that reviewed horribly.
Yeah.
So they gave Twisted Metal to London Studios after, and from what I know, they've been working on that game since, but we hadn't heard any rumblings about it. Presumably because what do you do with online Twisted Metal in 2024? I don't know.
Yeah.
The online PS3 one was kind of weird.
You have to get really, like, customizable or something.
Right. Or you just don't make it online and you only make it single player.
Yeah.
That's, like, the other way to go about it. But that's
couch co-op.
Yeah, couch co-op, but that's not going to make any money. So, like, I guess they want skins and stuff like that. But, like, I don't know. Hiroki Totoki, the guy who is now in charge of PlayStation.
Did you just make that up?
No, we talked about him taking over. Hiroki Totoki.
Yeah, just... Man, I'd love to have a name that rhymes.
Right. He's the substitute CEO, basically, of PlayStation right now, until they find the new guy. He is a money guy. That's his thing.
Right.
So he's looking at books and stuff like that, and he's like, yeah, this ain't working out. The direct quotes of him are like, we need to expand our margins and make money where we can, where we're not.
Right.
Basically, with that Insomniac leak, we learned that Spider-Man 2 cost Insomniac somewhere around like $250 million.
It's crazy.
And PlayStation is working at like a 7% margin right now of profit. So 7% of $250 million in 8 years of development, or whatever the time frame of these games are.
Right.
It's starting to become harder and harder for... These things don't seem realistic anymore.
Yeah.
They weren't realistic in 2013, and just like anything, you have power creep, or with technology especially, you have like... I don't know if you would call it power creep, but definitely along those lines of like, things just keep getting more and more powerful, things become more dense in pixels, and polygons get bigger and more polygons and stuff like that. Like, now these games are so unsustainable unless if you sell 15 million copies.
Right.
And it used to be 1 out of every 300 games, let's say, sold 10 million units.
Mm-hmm.
There were 16,000 games released on Steam last year.
Yeah. Well, it's so much easier now.
Right.
I mean, anyone, A child can make a video game.
Yeah, anybody can make a video game. There's this bloat problem and this problem of like everybody's trying to fight for attention, and the only way that these companies know how to fight for attention is just throw more money at it for some reason.
This is just one of the few industries, especially like a creative industry, where I mean, money's always going to get you to the top in these types of things, but especially in this where there's just no real other way to get your thing out, because you can't just walk down the street and be like, play this game, it looks so cool.
Well, I mean,
I guess you could,
and that's what itch.io.
It's just harder than other things like a movie or
Right. I mean, even movies or books, right? There's such a bloat with those. I mean, movies, you can still make a movie for $1,000 and put it out and whatever, but I feel like movies took a hit right as soon as the pandemic hit. Like that was so catastrophic to the movie industry that the movie bloat that we felt in like the 90s and stuff like that just doesn't exist anymore. I would argue that even though that it feels like there's content coming out constantly on TV and stuff, there's even less stuff coming out today than there was, 20 years ago, because all eyes were on TV and stuff. Now everybody's playing video games.
Yeah.
Everybody has a mobile phone. Everybody has these things. So, like, that 16,000 games was just Steam.
Right.
That wasn't itch.io. That wasn't Apple Store or the Google Play Store or whatever like that. Like,
all these independent game websites and
right.
shit that make stuff.
Miniclip or any of those. I mean, Miniclip's dead, of course, but like I'm pretty sure Armored Games is still
Armored
around.
Games, yeah.
And then Newgrounds is still around. People are still making stuff on Newgrounds.
Yeah.
There used to be this idea. I mean, it still exists, but there used to be this idea that the best idea would win. And now it's just, it feels like the same ideas, but the more money wins. That's kind of what it feels like now.
Unless it's super, super unique.
Right. And it's becoming harder to find the unique things just because there's so much bloat. And because like the average game on Steam last year made like $300 or something like that in total. It's like fucking insane thing to think about. So like these guys and these people that have these great ideas spend 2-3 years making a game, make $200-$300 on it. And then what happens,
Right, that's not gonna pay for the last 2 or 3 years.
Right, so there's this weird thing where like I want all these platforms to be open, but like there definitely needs to be like a reckoning.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, it's not even like it's 16,000 games or whatever, but how many of those were just clones?
Right. Or those
that's
like
my biggest thing. It's like I follow this guy that I watch this guy on YouTube that plays Souls-like games, and he's on episode like I don't know 30, 40 of and he plays like 5 or 6 games an episode he just gives like a brief wrap up. There's like hundreds of Souls-like games, and they're like just this much different than an original Souls game. Same with like farming RPGs. You know how many Stardew Valley clones there are?
Oh yeah,
it's just like a different palette or like a slightly different.
For sure.
And
those are all clones of Harvest Moon.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, for sure. The game idea thing is like, game ideas aren't patented, and I think game ideas should spread across everything. The thing I'm talking about more or less is not that, because there's effort there. There's a sense of there is a sense of game design there. It's not just shitting out shit. It might be a bad game, but it's not just shitting out shit. The big thing right now is like the Hyper RC Trucker, and it's like a PNG of a truck, and then you click that truck, and it makes it shake, and then you try to get like 600 clicks, and then it's like farms achievement points or trophies or whatever. And then there's like 16 different versions of that truck game, because each of the PNGs has like different colors, or the hyper version has like a different exhaust on it or something. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then there's 20 of them, and the same people put like a different version of those every single week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one variant of that, let alone like, I don't know, there's all this shitty like word searches and all that kind of stuff too, and like I don't know, it all depends on what I guess you view as a video game or whatever, but there's definitely a problem. And like, it's not like I don't think that these people shouldn't have a place to go, because like if you wanted to spend your money on a PNG that shakes around a little bit, good for you,
right?
No, but like I don't want to have to dig through it to find the games that I want.
Right.
And then on top of that, trying to find the games I want is already a fucking shit show. Like,
oh yeah, even
these,
going down like Game Pass.
Yeah, Game Pass doesn't even alphabetize their shit.
Is like very overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, even if sometimes I'll see the game and like they'll like put out a different cover of the game, or I'll just forget what the cover looks like or something. I'm like, oh, what is this? And then it's like, I'm like, oh, I've already seen this like 4 times.
Yeah. They'll change the square PNGs. I don't know if that would be a developer thing. I don't think Xbox specifically has any control over that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes that happens. I'm like, yeah. But even then, I mean, even with just that much of a selection, I mean, it's 100 games.
Right.
Sometimes, and it's like.
Right. All of those games on Game Pass have value. That's where I would argue
That's fair, yeah. At least all of those have become like like they have established themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, from, I don't know, like, the shittiest, like, Bro-tato.
Right.
You know, that just came out. That game looks like garbage, but then you play it, you're like, oh, okay. I get it. This makes sense.
Like the McPixel game.
All of those games, they look like garbage, and then you play them, and you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
There's some no shit game here. Fear or Lost in Loathing or whatever, Shadows of Loathing coming out, the stick figure RPG game. Like, that looks like a mini clip game, but like there's some no shit, effort in that game. Like, there's some actually Lost in Loathing or West of Loathing. That game was crazy. It is so weird.
Really?
Yeah, it's a stick figure RPG set in the Old West.
Okay.
And then Shadow of Loathing, I think, is that plus like medieval fantasy stuff. I don't remember what the whole premise of the new one is, but it's coming out soon.
On Game Pass?
I don't know. I don't know if West of Loathing's on Game Pass. I know Shadow of Loathing is coming to Game Pass.
Word.
But
I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, that
sounds weird.
It's really weird, man. But yeah, there's so much cool, unique things on Game Pass. And then, like, I would argue, like, the bloat that it does have would be, like, the Madden games or whatever like that. But, like, those are all, like, additive. And I think they get rid of the bloat with those.
They do a pretty good job of I'm just saying, like, I'm overwhelmed by that selection. Yeah, I can't even imagine
the regular
Steam. Like, when I played Steam more regularly, my wish list just grew every day. Because it was just like, oh yeah, I'll get to this eventually. I'll play this. I'd love to play this.
Right. Yeah, my PlayStation wish list is completely full.
Yeah.
Just because I've wish listed so many things, and then now it's like impossible to find everything, let alone go through my wish list.
And then you get an email like every day because your list is so big. It's like, hey, this on your wish list is on sale.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day. And it's like, I'm fine. I don't need it. Yeah. I wish there was like a clear all button for it or something, but there's not.
Right.
So
yeah, that'd be nice.
It just sits full.
Or at least if it would remind me every once in a while, like, hey, are you still interested in this game? And then I could click no, and it would like swoop it out, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't want it in an email though, because I don't check my email like that.
No, like when I first log on.
Yeah.
Just like one game. Every time I log on, it's like, are you interested in this?
Yeah, I have no clue how big the PlayStation wish list is for it to be full though.
Yeah, you should. I'm curious. You should find out and we report back. Cause
it's like 200 games.
I'd love to know how many games you've wished to have.
Yeah.
I mean, you're more of a collector too, so you have that like mindset of like, you know, you just want the game. I mean, I guess more physically than anything, but even to play and experience.
I sold, say, 60% of my collection or so.
Oh wow.
I need a reset. I stopped cataloging things a long time ago. I didn't know what I had. It was a big problem. And then also I needed to pay bills. So that also helped.
That's great.
I was like, I don't know what I have. I look over there, I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I want to do. So I kept things that make me happy, of course. But like other than that, I was like, yeah, well, we can get rid of it. I don't need it. I don't need every single Assassin's Creed game. I don't care about Assassin's Creed. I don't need the fucking Halo series. I left. Kyle has his copies, but I don't need my copies.
Yeah.
I don't care about Halo like that, or Gears of War. A lot of Xbox stuff,
Right.
Specifically, just stuff like that. Midnight Club, Need for Speeds. I don't care about Need for Speed.
Right.
I did sell a lot of horror stuff, though. That was a big thing. That was hard to let go, but I'll have to just rebuy it all and gain my collection back up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like all of the Resident Evils and stuff like that. Besides, I think I kept 3, because that one's the next one in the series, so maybe not. I think 3's on Game Pass, that's why.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think 3 just came to Game Pass, so I sold that one too. But yeah, sold a bunch of games and rebuild my collection. Rebuild it with things only that make me happy rather than everything.
Right.
I mean, it would be cool to have complete collections, but like, I need my own place for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
It does add up very quickly because you can only put them in so many places. You know, they're fragile.
Right, and I don't want to be here forever, let alone like, I don't know, another year or so.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's gonna be just more of a pain in the ass to move and everything like that.
Absolutely.
All of this shit behind me, my whole Pokemon store to the left of me. Like, that's enough stuff already.
Yeah.
Let alone, I have 2 giant store displays in my room. If you want to buy a store display, you can hit me up. You know, I have a 9-foot tall Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Switch display in my room. It's ridiculous. That's all I have for everything, really.
Yeah.
I went on a rant for a little bit. Anything you wanted to throw in before we leave? Or
I played that downhill game.
Oh, Lonely Mountain Downhill.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I only played the first level, but I played that first level for a while.
It's a good
Because I
game.
just kept like, they don't really give you any direction, so
Nope.
I just kept trying shit.
Yeah.
And that's really fun. It's fun to just kind of like fall down a mountain a bunch.
Right. Yeah.
Very peaceful, like you were saying, a good, vibe. The sound effects are nice.
Yeah. Because even though that game gets super hard, like, I don't know.
It's super hard from the beginning, really, if you
Yeah.
let it. Like, because there is a lot of variety even from the very beginning. I expected it to be very linear at first, like until you got used to it. But no, right from the get-go, you can make like a lot of different choices, and it just depends on how patient and skilled you've become. I imagine like eventually you get better equipment, so things become a little easier.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I've been playing on and off for a couple years, but I really never got that far.
Yeah.
I finally just unlocked a new bike in that game. But I think there's 5 bikes in total.
Oh, okay.
And then there's like 3 paint jobs in total. Like there's very small selection of things, and then the paint carries over on every single bike.
Yeah.
And then stuff like that. And it's the same thing with outfits. I think there's like 3 or 4 shirts and stuff like that. There's not a lot of variety, but there's enough there.
Yeah, I just figured you could upgrade your bike, like better brakes or whatever, because that's like the biggest thing is like,
yes,
if you had really good brakes, it'd be a lot easier to.
Yeah, I think that's just tied to the bike frame itself.
Oh, okay.
But once you unlock a different bike, there'll be like the faster bike, the tighter turns, and then the different brakes and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, that's fun. But other than that, that's just been kind of like that side game. There's not really any goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess get to the bottom or whatever, but
just survive down the mountain.
yeah, you can kind of just bounce around for a little bit, and then it's like, all right, I'll go play something else now.
Hell yeah! All the DLC, not all the DLC, but the majority of the DLC is free on Game Pass as well.
Oh, weird.
So I'd look into that. I think there's one paid DLC that's like $5 or whatever. That's a pretty big one from what I understand.
Yeah.
It might be like a whole new mountain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that there's that. All the other free DLC is like a free like a 5th level to every mountain.
Oh,
basically. Wow. And then they had a whole new mountain for the expansion. That's what it looked like. Yeah, that'll be exciting to see where you go with that. I love that game. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of crazy things that happen, but there's a lot of moments that are like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, I don't know, you just find a cliff on the edge, and then it gives you a button prompt, and then your guy sets up like a little camp, and like it gives you like a little breathing moment.
That's cool.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I like when I find like a little shortcut or something, and I'm like, oh wow.
Right, there's so many like shortcuts that I've never done before, because it's like I hit a rock right on this run, and I fucking landed somewhere else. I'm like, oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. There's so many secrets too that I haven't found. Like each trail has like 6 or 7 camp areas.
Oh wow.
And I think I found like 3 in total the whole game. So
I'll have to watch like that's one of those games that I don't mind being spoiled.
Yeah.
Because it's more like, because even seeing that, like even if they revealed where all the spots are, I'll forget, but also the skill involved to get to them is still going to be a challenge enough that I'll feel rewarded.
I wish it marked it on your map, like before you go into the mountain, like it tells you where you're gonna go. I wish it would just like have a little pinpoint somewhere,
or even if there was like a little sign, like as you're driving around, just a little arrow that's like, go this way for.
I'm fine with it being more secret.
Yeah.
Like, that little pinpoint on the map would be enough for me to remember to be like, oh yeah,
I need to go this way.
Yeah, and then having that guessing game of like, is this the turn? Or is this the point where I need to make the jump or whatever? Because there's a lot of that in that game. Like just to shave off seconds of time or whatever, if it's like a time run or anything like that, you know? Yeah, there's a lot of that. Hell yeah. God, I could play that game right now. I have so much work to do after this, though, so I can't do that. I want to play. Yeah. Well, I guess that's an episode.
Yeah, that's it. Those are the games.
I don't have anything else. Elden Ring and Skate for me. Yeah. Well, it's been fun. It's been real. Patrick's another podcast.
Another one.
Thank you guys for watching. Praise the Run, like, comment, subscribe. And we'll be back next week. It's been fun. It's been real.
See ya.
Bye.